Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video. This one, we're going to be discussing a massive piece of the upcoming season of The Walking Dead, Dead City. Want to get your guys' opinions on this. Want to get your guys' thoughts on this. I've kind of talked about this briefly in videos before. But I want to give a massive update on one of the biggest characters that we have right now in the Walking Dead franchise. Which isn't many, because the Walking Dead franchise is kind of written off a lot of their big characters and a lot of their big names. If I could name a few: Rick, Michonne, Morgan, Dwight, you know what I mean? There's a lot, you know, Ezekiel, Jerry, Gabriel, Aaron, you know, a lot of their characters are kind of concluded, by the looks of it at least, you know. But we still have a few active characters in The Walking Dead right now, and one of them that I think really is crucial for the future of the franchise that I don't think is getting the treatment that they deserve, and one that I do want to see an improvement of, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, and I genuinely want to see if anybody else is going to agree with me. Maggie. Now, what am I talking about when I talk about Maggie? Think about it. Negan has had a massive role on Dead City. The show is him. You know what I mean? The show is about him. Daryl Dixon is Daryl Dixon. Daryl has all the plots in his show. He's got a massive role. Carol is massive in the Daryl show, to a point where they killed Isabel off just so that they can make room for Carol by the looks of it. You know what I mean? All of these characters are getting all this screen time. And then you got Maggie, which is just, I want to fight Negan. I want to kill Negan. I don't want to kill Negan. Negan. When was the last time that we had a storyline with Maggie that actually was led by Maggie that had nothing to do with Negan? Ever since Maggie returned in Season 10, Episode 17, Home Sweet Home, and briefly before in Season 10, Episode 16, A Certain Doom, I don't know about you guys, but that's what Maggie's character has been the entire time, is I want to get revenge on Negan. I don't want to get revenge on Negan. I maybe want to get revenge on Negan. I'm starting to trust Negan. Maybe I'm not trusting Negan. Maybe I do trust Negan. You know what I mean? And that's all fine and good. You guys know I'm a defender of Maggie. I still am, even the modern Maggie. You know, I think in Dead City, showing her being, you know, upset with Negan is realistic. Because if it wasn't for the Croat, and if it wasn't for, you know, Negan being Negan, Croat would have never taken Herschel, and Negan and his old ways is why, you know, Croat took Herschel as a bargain for Maggie to get Negan. So I understand Maggie's frustration with Negan in Season 1 of Dead City. I completely understand it. And in Season 11, that's when Maggie reemerged into The Walking Dead. So you had to establish her back and forth with Negan and, you know, all that stuff. So as of right now, I understand why Maggie has been the way she's been towards Negan. I'm definitely not knocking the writing, even though I know a lot of people do. I understand it. I do. But we're now reaching a point where I will say, I want a Maggie-led storyline again. I want a storyline with Maggie that has nothing to do with Negan, that is going to be interesting, and that is going to have some weight to it. Because, I don't know about you guys, Maggie in season like 3, 4, 5, 6 of the original series, that character stood on her own and then some. She was a great character. She had great storylines. She had, you know, of course, Glenn by her side. But not even just that, she had great storylines. You remember in season 4 when, you know, her and Bob were on the road, you know, and she led her own kind of episode there, you know what I mean? We had her and Beth. We had the storyline with Beth, you know, with her and Beth and stuff like that. Her trying to get her sister out of the hospital, the depression that she went into after finding out that her sister is alive, and then her dying right after, you know what I mean? There was Maggie taking over the hilltop with Gregory. That was a great storyline as she took the hilltop from Gregory because he was too much of a piece of shit to friggin', you know, do anything, you know what I mean? And, you know, her revenge path and stuff. It was great. Maggie, in the early seasons, Maggie had a lot of great storylines. But nowadays, it feels like Maggie is built on the Negan arc. You know what I mean? And it's like they're not doing anything new with Maggie's character. And that is something I'm noticing. I do want them to start utilizing Maggie to her full potential because, you know, here's the thing. If you're not talking about Melissa McBride, she's the only other leading female in this franchise right now, which is a embarrassing thing, might I just add. So I want Maggie to shine more, you know what I mean? I want to see more of her character. I find Carol, they're giving a, you know, reasonable amount of time. That's why this video is not about Carol, it's about Maggie, you know what I mean? Carol is highlighted, she's getting her own storyline, she's getting her own things. Maggie, I find it's all about Negan, you know what I mean? Which, yeah, sure, that's cool. But I feel like there's more you can do with her character. I feel like there's more storylines you can do with her. And no, not Herschel, because Herschel is all about, Negan, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see a storyline with Maggie where she can actually hold her own, do her own storyline, and have it be fresh, unique, and exciting, you know what I mean? We haven't had that since Maggie returned in Season 10. And I do think we're due for that. So I'm hoping in Dead City, or at one point coming up here soon in the franchise, regardless of what it is, I'm hoping that Maggie can start to shine again. I would like to see Maggie back to her quality of Season 4, 5, 6, when the character was actually really good, you know what I mean? Like, I like Maggie nowadays, I do. I like her character, I think she's cool. I don't have many problems with her, really. I want them to spice up her character, and at least as a hardcore Walking Dead fan, when I find a character is not exactly, to their, being used to their full potential, I like to acknowledge that. And I think Maggie is not being used to her full potential right now in the Walking Dead universe, but that's just my opinion. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments down below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think Maggie could be better? Do you think that they could do more with her? And I guess not necessarily that she could be better, but just more of Maggie being Maggie, not so much Maggie being about Negan, you know what I mean? I know that's going to be tough to do in a show about Maggie and Negan, but I feel like they can do it, you know what I mean? Because again, you got a great actress, she's great. JDM is being used to his full potential. I don't find Maggie's being used to her full potential. So that's why I'm saying I think that they could really benefit from some of the old seasons with Maggie and try to do that type of stuff again, because I think that they could do it, you know what I mean? So that's kind of just my opinions. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. So if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe. Don't miss any other videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.